Welcome back to Football with Ben Roethlisberger. My name is Spence, and as always, I am joined here with two-time Super Bowl champion Ben Roethlisberger. There he is.
Hello.
Yes, and we are back with another episode of Football, but it's the season finale. Not of our show.
The regular season finale.
The regular season finale. Not of our show, but of the NFL season. Yep. And it didn't go the way I wanted it to go.
Did we lose this one?
We did.
We're not losing. We're not sliding into the playoffs.
No.
We're going to the playoffs like this.
I'm running high.
Let's go.
The wings of eagles. Probably should have picked a different phrase. But yeah, it wasn't great. Well, we do have an awesome show for you.
Yep.
Right? We didn't have an awesome week, but we do have an awesome show. We're going to talk about the game against Cincinnati. We are going to jump around the league a little bit. I have a top seven category that I think is fitting, kind of a year-end review check-in to see where we're at. And then we're gonna jump into some family dinner. Sorry, guys, it's been a rough week, and like every good footballing episode, we're gonna start off with a drink. But here's the deal: I got this for you. Here's the deal: we had New Year's over at your house.
We did have New Year's.
You and Ashley, as always, were lovely hosts. You had us over, had all the families over. You had,
which is why we don't have our normal background going because there were too many kids here. So.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like daddy daycare.
Yes, right? There were a lot of kids here.
Yes, which is awesome. Got the families over and kind of cleared out the fridge there a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're running. We got to restock. We got to head over to Giant Eagle or Creekside to restock. But I do have this beverage here for you. I'm gonna pass that to you. It's from Dancing Gnome. That's gonna be the episode's beverage, just for you.
Just for me.
Just for you. I figured it's a tall boy. We might need it this week. It's called Lustra.
Two things. One, my nose is a little itchy. I think I have allergies or a cold or something. So forgive me if I'm itching my nose. I'll try not to pick it. Two, are we gonna pull like a Russell Wilson where he's like, we're not talking about the game, you know, because you said we are gonna touch on the Bengal game, briefly, right? We have to. And there have been times in my career when I'm like, listen, we got to move on. We're putting that game behind us. So I get what Russ was saying when he's like, hey, listen, we gotta move on from this, and we're not looking at the last game or the last four games. We got to focus on everyone's 0-0, you know, and it is a tournament. As Mike Tomlin would say, it's a single elimination tournament they're getting involved with. I get that. So is that what you're saying? Like we're not gonna go too much into it. We'll talk about the Bengal game briefly.
Yes.
But we're gonna let it go a little bit, like Elsa says in Frozen.
I'm very familiar with that reference. We can. There's definitely some stuff we got to talk about. I think maybe you should look at that a little bit though. not necessarily us. We don't have to play. We don't have to play Baltimore, but I do think the guys that are playing Baltimore should review it. I don't know. I've never been to the playoffs. I always think this, man. Like I think
this is hoppy.
Is it?
It's nice. It's good though. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
This beer is good.
That's awesome.
This Dancing Gnome is nice.
Yeah, I just think people who have never taken a snap of professional football shouldn't talk about football. I always feel dumb when I do it. Granted, I don't know a whole lot, but like you can say anything you want to say, but there's a lot of us out there that kind of make our living off of talking about it. Probably have no business.
Well, you can talk about it, but don't talk like you. Not you. I'm saying in general.
No,
because there are a lot of talking heads out there on sports shows that talk like they know that never put a helmet on, or if they did, they went at a very low level. But
so you can say that, but the rest of us have no business doing this.
You can talk about all you want because you can talk about what you saw, but don't talk about it like you're a professional or you know what's going on out there. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, don't worry.
I'll get more sense as we go.
I will never sound like a professional, so I'll never do that to you. All right,
that's good.
But so let's jump in. That beer is good. Thank you, Dancing Gnome, for making that. That's awesome.
Thank you, Dancing Gnome.
The first thing I want to do. I want to jump in. It is playoff football has started, right? And I want to jump in because as I'm looking at the seeding of this is something that it just doesn't make sense to me. Now I understand how it works. I understand, right? You win your division, you get a home game, right? There's 4 divisions in each conference. Each one of those winners earns the right to start at home. The problem I have with this is that, especially in the AFC or the NFC, as you're looking at it, you have the 3 and 4 seeds with the worst records of the top 7. And so you have a 14-win team that has to start the playoffs on the road.
By the way, did the Lions win last night? I went to bed.
Let me check. I believe so.
If they're the number 1 seed, they won.
Yeah.
Okay, they won.
Yes, they did.
That's sad. That shows how unprepared I am for this show.
What are you talking about? No. Have you seen
I just got back. I was traveling. I just got back last night.
Have you seen our show?
And that's so sad that I actually asked that question.
No. Yes, they did win pretty dominantly.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But here's my point. Right?
I hear you. No, because there are 4. Because then you're talking about Minnesota being a 14-win team that has to go on the road.
They're like, I get it. I get the infrastructure of it. But at what point, like, do you ever see the NFL doing something like the NBA?
So what you're asking is, do I think that the top 4 teams, regardless of what division you're in, should get the 4 home games?
100%.
Is what you're asking.
Do you feel like that is a reasonable?
Well, the unique, I mean, I hear what you're saying, because it throws you into some loops and some wrinkles, right? You have some really good teams that start on the road. It's not fair, but then the answer is win your division. I mean, that's plain and simple. That's what you have to do.
Sure.
And every year it happens. There are some teams that end up making it that have no business being in it, that have a home game, but it just puts the onus on winning your division.
Yeah, but it's tough because even winning your division, like even the number 1 seed might not be the best team in your division either. You can finagle some stuff. People losing certain things. I just think about that. I mean, you're sitting here like Packers, Commanders, right? That's the 6. That's the 7. The 6 and 7. Commanders is 6. Packers is 7 over in the NFC. You think either one of those teams are better than the Bucks or the Rams? I guess we're going to find out, but you know what I mean? Like the records are better.
But the Bucks are just playing good football right now. Like they snuck in.
Right.
And they're going to be a dangerous team. Same thing, if Cincy would have snuck in, I think they would have been dangerous.
I agree with you.
You have to be going into the postseason the right direction. Okay? So you can pull some comparisons of us, this Steelers team this year, right? Going in at the 6th seed. The Pittsburgh Steelers in 2006 went in at the 6th seed too. Okay, the difference in the 2 teams are people are like, yeah, let's go, we can do it again. The difference is we went in, we snuck in, right? We had to win, I think, our last 3 or 4, maybe. I mean, we had to win some games to get in, and we did that. We were trending in the right direction. This Pittsburgh Steelers team, has lost 4 in a row. They're going the wrong direction. Same thing as like Baltimore right now. Like I think that's why I said I didn't want to go play Baltimore. I know there's a lot of fans out there and a lot of people are talking about we're excited to play Baltimore. And I get it. I understand it. I think Chef Evans is excited about Baltimore. We'll ask him. But that team's playing good football right now. Their quarterback is ridiculous. I mean, we know he is, but he's ridiculous. And their defense, which was their Achilles heel, is actually playing pretty good right now.
Yeah.
They're going in trending the right direction. We're going to the postseason trending in the wrong direction. Now, I get it. I understand. You get in, and it's like you can wipe your slate clean from but you got to be playing good football. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference. We were playing good football in 2006. That's how we got in and why we made a little run. Not saying this team can't do it. Listen, anything can happen. I totally understand and agree with that. But you want to be playing your best football right now, and I know Coach Tomlin will always preach that. Now he's gonna say all the right things to his guys and get them fired up. And hey, guys, it's a single elimination playoffs, this, that, and the other. But you still got to be playing some good football when you're entering the postseason. So some of those teams you're talking about are playing really good football, and they got low seeds, and some teams are not playing good football and got high seeds. So you just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, and I like the fact that it gives kind of like a sleeper a chance to kind of wake up and go. I love that. I just think, man, I just feel like I feel for the Vikings and teams like that. They're like, what else we got to do? It's one other, like you said, win a division. The problem with that is then if you have a dominant division, which, obviously the NFC North this year, you could have had, Bears weren't going anywhere, but.
Well, there's been seasons the AFC North have put 3 teams in the postseason.
Right.
Things like that can happen. So, it's just the way it is. I don't know that it'll ever change. I don't know that you could ever just put the top teams in. Because then there's a chance that you don't have someone from a division going in.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say, well, that's their fault for not playing the division, or not winning their division or playing well enough to get in. But, there's something about getting someone from each division in.
Yeah, I get it. You get the entire league a chance to stay involved. I understand that. Like you get from a business standpoint, all those markets are still activated to some extent, right? I understand that. But if it really is to find who the best team is, and you have somebody who can, I look at the Seahawks, I look at the Bengals. Both those teams could be exciting in the postseason. Bengals more so than the Seahawks, but it's.
Yeah. No, I know. I think Cincinnati was a team that if they got in was going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So you don't think that'll ever change, huh?
I don't think.
Do you like? I mean, as a player, like, do you like the way it's? Knowing
I believe the postseason was different when I was playing too. Is there was only you didn't have the first round bye, like the first two teams did.
Sure.
So 1 and 2 had a bye. So 6 would play 3, 5 would play 4, winners would play 2 and 1, and now they got an extra team in. So they've changed up the playoffs a little bit. How they allow teams in and whatnot, but I don't see them changing much.
Yeah.
Just getting that 1 seed is huge. Used to be first and second got a bye, but now it's just the 1 gets a bye. So getting that first round bye is, and then you get teams like both teams, right? The Chiefs, the Lions obviously had to play last night to win.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs sat most of their guys, so they're actually getting multiple weeks off, which is good and bad. Been a part of both of those. Sometimes you get healthy, but sometimes you can get a little rust that can form. I think for a team like the Chiefs that's been there, done that, that's huge for them to get the bye.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to ask you about. Is you see Denver shut a Chiefs team out, basically their backups. What do you think about sitting people? Obviously, you get the rest. Is that?
I think it depends on the team.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how veteran the team is. I think a team like the Chiefs, who, like I said, have been there, done that, veteran coach, veteran quarterback, when you can rest those guys, let them get healthy, that's huge. If you've got young guys that sitting or relatively healthy, sitting sometimes isn't the best thing. You want to keep a flow and a rhythm, especially if you're playing good football. Sitting for 2 weeks or even a week. I guess that's the other thing too. If you're like the Chiefs where you have 2 weeks, that's a big deal. If you know you're a team that has to play the following week, sitting 1 week isn't as big of a deal. Sitting for 2 weeks is a long time, but again, if any team, if I could pick one team in the NFL that sitting 2 weeks wouldn't affect that much, I think it'd be the Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, man. Well, listen, regardless of how it's seeded, there's a lot of phenomenal teams. This is one of the first years I'm looking at some of the other teams in the playoffs. I'm like, this is gonna be exciting. Typically I'm just rooting for us and then I don't care. But to watch some of these guys' performances throughout the year, I think it's going to be exciting either way. And that leads us to Seven's top 7 list. All right, so we've had a lot of really, I feel like throughout the year we've talked about quarterback play, a lot of really good quarterback play this year. I feel like we've had some new names emerge and put up very, very impressive seasons. So what I want to do is for Seven's top 7 is I want to look at all the quarterbacks in 2024 season here and have Seven's top 7 quarterbacks of 2024 season.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So this list is tricky because it's this year. It's not who do I think is the best quarterback in the NFL, or it's who do I think played the best this year. Doesn't necessarily mean they had the best stats. Maybe they led their team to victories. Maybe they won a lot of games. Maybe they won with less. Who knows what it is? But this is who I think played, in my opinion, the top 7 quarterbacks in the league this year. Starting from 7 to 1, Justin Herbert. Number 6, Sam Darnold. Number 5, Jared Goff. Number 4, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 2, Joe Burrow. And number 1, Lamar Jackson. Yep.
What? Dude, I would not have guessed that.
I know. I put Joe, and I think, and listen, again, do I think Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the NFL? Maybe. But what Joe Burrow did, Joe Burrow's ahead of him, and Lamar, I mean, he's different level right now, and I know people are like, Pat, number 4, yep. I'm just going off of
this year.
But what Joe Burrow did this year and the way he played football, he could have and should have been in the MVP race. Might get some votes. Whatever. But because of their record, that's going to hurt him. But what he does and how he plays the game, he can do it all, and he is deserving of being in one of the top spots.
I mean, it's a solid list, but yeah, I didn't expect Patrick to be 4, huh?
Yeah, I mean, and listen, they got the number 1 seed. People were like, well, what are you doing? Maybe his stats weren't as good. And again, do I think he's one of the top quarterbacks? He's going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to knock him off this, that, and the other. If I need to win a game tomorrow, would I take Patrick Mahomes? Absolutely.
yes.
I'm just going off of this season who I think, play the best football. So
no, it's a solid list, man. Let us know who your guys' top 7 quarterbacks would be and why a future Hall of Fame quarterback would be right or wrong.
I want you to look up real quick.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Playoff games. Like what the games, who's playing. Like obviously I know.
Yep.
Okay. And we're gonna do this right now, real quick after you get them. You're gonna read the team.
I think I have them.
Okay. You're gonna read the game, and I'm gonna give you my winner.
Okay.
And we're gonna see how I do.
All right.
Okay.
You ready?
Hold on, let me go for AFC here.
2025 playoff bracket.
Go. First one.
All right. It's gonna be Chargers, Texans.
Chargers.
It's gonna be Steelers, Ravens.
Ravens.
Okay.
Sorry.
And you got Broncos and Bills.
Bills.
All right.
NFC.
NFC is Vikings and Rams.
Vikings.
Commanders at Bucks.
Bucks.
And
good football right now.
And you have the Packers at Eagles. It's a tricky one.
It is.
Jordan Love can get lethal.
I know he can. Gosh, that's tough. And it's gonna feel weird because obviously I've taken all the like favorites. I'm gonna go Packers.
But the Eagles defense.
I know. I can't take the favorites all the way.
Okay.
Okay, I wrote it down there.
All right.
So we'll next week we'll reevaluate.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll see the next of the games after that.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Solid list, man.
Yep.
So here's what I want to do.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
I want to talk about Steelers Bengals. I want to spend a little bit of time there before Evan comes down. Because Steelers Nation we've been in uproar. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to talk about the game. But one thing I noticed my frustration growing with is just the lack of our offensive output. Obviously, it's been a thing that we've struggled with not only this year but last year. So since you've left, we have tried out 5 quarterbacks. We've had Mitch, we have had Kenny, we've had Mason, we've had Justin, we have had Russ. Now, I understand finding a franchise guy is no easy feat. We've been spoiled that it worked out the way that it worked out with you here. I understand that. But what style of quarterback? It's a twofold. What style of quarterback do you think makes the most sense for the Pittsburgh Steelers? And how is it through 5 guys we can't find something with a glimmer of hope to work for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think the key has always been here. It's deep, and this goes back to the 70s and maybe before that. Excuse me. It's defense, it's running the ball, and it's having a quarterback that can, at times, take over and win the game. At times, complement the run game and the defense. At times, play within the system. Don't lose it. I think I've gone through all those phases of my career as I was here, right? There were times that we had a great defense and it was like turn on, hand the ball off the drone Bettis. Just turn the hand off. Coach Cowher eras throwing it 20 to 25 times a game. There were times where we had to throw it 40 to 50 times a game to win it, to outscore people. You've got to be able to understand kind of where that is. I remember having that talk with running backs that came in here. Naj, probably had it with more than just him, that, hey, listen, this city loves its Steelers. It loves its Steelers defense, and it loves a running back. I'm totally fine with that because those usually lead to winning. Embrace that role. Embrace what it takes to be a Pittsburgh Steelers running back here. So I think being the right quarterback, it's not about being a flashy quarterback. It's about being a quarterback that is a team guy, will point the thumb more than the finger. I think you've got to be able to be tough. You know, you've got to know when to fight for that extra yards. The old song, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You look back at what Russ did in Baltimore, right? Everyone was like, "Oh, slide, give yourself up." I love the fact that he was trying to score. Love it. This week, late in that game, last drive of the game, Russ scrambles out to the right. Russ kind of lowers his shoulder, tries to kind of run a guy over. in that situation, getting out of bounds is the most important thing. Get out of bounds and save the time. No one is going to look at you and be like, oh, he's soft. He got out of bounds. No, they're going to look like that's a good, smart play. Or no one's going to look at you and be like, yeah, that's my quarterback. He tried to lower his shoulder and run a guy over. Know when to do that and when not to. I think I'm not saying to Russ, I'm saying as a quarterback in general for this team, they want a tough guy, a guy that's going to get up and fight for this team, for this city, no matter what. And I'm not saying that the guys we have aren't those guys, but those are just some of the criteria that I think fit to wearing the black and gold and being a quarterback here.
Yeah, I know we talked about, maybe last week, the future of the quarterback position here at Pittsburgh. And, talking about Russ's contract, Justin's contract. I think something happened just now recently with Justin. I feel like somebody told me that, but I didn't look into it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But is that, do we have that guy on the team? Is that a guy that we look for coming out of college, a different team, somebody else that you would like to see here? I mean,
yeah,
because we got to figure out something. We can't just have
yeah, but I think what we're experiencing now in the last few years is kind of what most teams are experiencing when they're just trying to figure what the Browns have been experiencing for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
When you find that guy, you gotta hold on to him. I don't know that when they brought Russ here, he was ever the intention was ever for him to be the guy here for the next 5-10 years. I don't know. Russ has 10 years left in him, obviously. Mm-hmm. Russ might have 5 years. He might have 2. Only Russ knows how his body feels and how much longer he can play. So was Russ brought in here to be a bridge the gap kind of guy? The problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers so many times is they don't have high draft picks because they play well. They don't have a losing season, so they're not going to get a top 10 or 5 pick. That's why I was fortunate to come here, is because there was a good football team that had a bad year. And they ended up 6-10, I think, and got the 11th pick. It just doesn't happen a lot here. So that's one of the tricky things about this team is if you as fans, you almost have to say, like, this really stinks, but we need to have one down year to try and find a quarterback. Now, is this the class that has the quarterback that they're looking for? I don't know. I haven't evaluated the quarterbacks to know who's available and who's the best. Is there a quarterback out there that's available that's played for a few years? That's a guy. I mean, if you're looking for your franchise guy, typically it's a guy in the draft that you develop and you have here for 10 to 15 years. Obviously, you can make trades and can make things happen. Look at Jared Goff, the Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford swap. That kind of worked for both teams. It's working right now for the Lions. But you look at Jordan Love, a guy that got drafted and then sat behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple years. So it's just there's multiple ways you can find your franchise quarterback. It's just a matter of finding the guy, and you do have to get a little lucky. I mean, you may get a guy that's great in quarterback, a great quarterback in college, and he comes to the league and just doesn't get it. It doesn't click. They don't have a line to protect him. There's still, just because you find a guy that's really good doesn't mean it's going to work out.
Yeah, and I think, the other rotating door that's going on right now is the offensive coordinator, right? Yep. So how much of it is the offensive scheme playing into, the lack of identity as an offense currently?
Yeah, you've got to have stability there too. Now, obviously, with the Matt Canada was here for a couple of years, and then they switched it up. I think Arthur Smith has done a good job. There's something. It's hard too because you just don't. If you want to look at the struggles of the offense, you can watch the games, you can look at film, but you can't point the finger all the time. Like, you can look at a film. Like I watched some of the plays and watched film on some things. And are there guys open? Sure. Now, does that mean that Russ isn't seeing them, or does that mean that the play was designed to go to someone else and the guy just happens to be open? Is that scheme? Is that player? Did a guy run a wrong route? Is why he's in a spot that the quarterback wasn't ready for. It's too hard to pinpoint it unless you're in that building and you know exactly what's going on. But I think having stability, like when you have the stability of head coach, that has a trickle down effect. If they believe in Arthur Smith, which I think they do and will, I think he does a really good job. I think they'll stick with him, and as long as he doesn't want to leave either, to go pursue another job. But just like having a solid quarterback is crucial. Having a solid system around him, and that starts with the coordinator. If that coordinator is going to stay here for the next 3 to 5 years, that he can develop a quarterback and they can work together. Instead of the quarterback working for him, they work together and they develop things together. That is as important as finding a great quarterback.
Yeah, man. I feel like the building process, and obviously, but I feel like the building process will take longer than Pittsburgh is accustomed to waiting to win.
But I don't disagree with you. And I think I've had that conversation with Evan and some other people is you, as much as you don't want to lose or want to go through some struggles, you go through struggles to find your next franchise, to win games, to win Super Bowls. You don't just get 20 to 30 year stretches of just success and it just never changes. You have to go. I think we've been dealing with a lot of highs for a long time, and one quarterback for 18 years and those kind of things. But it just doesn't work like that. You've got to go through your lumps to get back to the top.
I know, man. Maybe it's just the Pittsburgh. I've been indoctrinated by the Pittsburgh culture of winning. So I'm like, because you got guys like T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith. You guys got guys like Cam is. I don't even know what year he's on, but he's playing
really
absolutely out of his mind right now. And it's like, how do you tell those guys that are performing the way that they're performing? It's like, hey, we're just gonna these 3 years of your career gonna be a wash.
You're gonna try, but that's why you get bridge guys, and you get guys that you're like, okay, we can try and win it with these guys.
Yeah, I think the talent on this team could win it. I think it just has to click. All of it has to come together at the same time, and I think that's what we're not seeing so far. So jumping specifically into the game, I want to touch on a couple things, get your insight as stuff comes to your mind as well. The one thing that I was paying attention to this game was Cincinnati's defense. Mm-hmm. That was supposed to be like, hey, we're good on that. Yep. Like our offense can. And
40-some on them last time.
17 points, brother. Now, again, I think there were some mistakes we made on our side. I think we could have probably made some better decisions that allowed that. But what did you see from Cincinnati's defense that surprised you going into this game?
Well, I thought, I'd love to look at it closer and see did they stop us or did we shoot ourselves in the foot?
Sure.
They're watching back on a few plays from that game. Excuse me. We have guys open. We got to hit them. We also got to catch the ball. We've got to block them. Their D end, who's a great player, 2.5 sacks. It's we got to stay on the field. We got to convert third downs. You look at the time possession in the first half; it was ridiculous. We're not converting third downs. We're not sustaining drives. And again, there's a lot of fingers a lot of places you could look at. So it's hard to just say it's just this or it's just this and this. I think there's a lot of places that we could make some changes and some fixes in, but I was surprised we didn't take advantage of getting after their secondary a little more. And listen, George Pickens had I think 4 or 5 catches for 0 yards.
Yeah,
he caught one ball, dropped a bunch of them. The ball late in the game on the fourth down or the fourth quarter, the last drive, he ran a little out and up. Russ threw it to the sideline. Russ throws it down the field more. It actually could be a touchdown, and we're not even talking about Boz potentially kicking a game winner or Pat making that play at the end of the game. That ball's up the field. The safety's leaning a little bit on the hash. He's actually got a chance. Mm-hmm. Looking back, he got a chance. So, again, what is that? Was the play designed to be outside? Was it to just find the open spot? Was the ball gone before he saw where he was at? There's just too many variables to pinpoint, but we can't miss on the chances that we have down the field.
Yeah, no, let's hone in on that last drive, man, because I feel like that was the one we're watching it. You're like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
that was me. As I'm watching, I think a lot of Pittsburgh was like, what are we doing? You'd mentioned, or you'd already mentioned Russ not getting out of bounds. Like we have that, obviously, the throw to Pat. We have that. I think in our mind, or at least in my mind, I'm like, set that. You could set the ball up at, the 50-yard line, just give it to Boz. Yep. The thought is like, just give Boz a shot. What did you see in that last drive? Because you're talking about that ball to George.
Yeah.
What did you see in that last drive that maybe we didn't see as we were watching it and maybe could give context to our frustration?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. I think, Boz nails a 50-some yarder the drive before and made it pretty good. So now you're thinking, okay, we just got to give him a shot. Obviously, he's kicking to the close end, which he, on this show, said he likes more. The weather was cold, a little bit of breeze, so ideally you want to keep it under 60 yards. Can Boz make over 60? Absolutely. I just think you're bringing a lot of elements, right? It's just like in whether it's golf, it's like anything. When the ball's cold, when it's cold outside, the air is more condensed. The ball doesn't travel as far. That's just what it is.
Are you an alchemist? What was that?
Pretty much. That's everything.
Okay.
But you're like, okay, just give us a shot, right? So, there's a play we talk about where Russ get out of bounds, save yourself some time. Not having any timeouts is huge. The shot down the field to George, potentially, if that ball's in play to keep him, he's going to. Well, he's got to catch it. I guess He's got to catch it. But I think he was too busy arguing with the fans still. But the game's over. He's catching and probably scoring, or you have a 20-yard field goal. It's the game's over on that one. You could sit there and talk about the last play on fourth down. If Pat catches that, what happens? The ball got on Pat pretty quick. And I know Pat will be the first one to tell you I should have made that play. Now, when Pat gets that whole play, that whole situation, if you watch the thing, watch it back. Merrill sent me the all-22 copy of that play. When you are in the huddle in that situation, you have no timeouts. You've got, I think, 15 seconds when the play started. You got to get about a 15-yard chunk, 20-yard chunk. You're telling your guys, all right, we're going to call alert down. So alert down is what we used to say when it's like when you catch it as a receiver, tight end, running back, you're not trying to run and get extra yards. It's alert, like literally the second you catch it, go down. The NFL it's like a known thing that if you give yourself up, you don't have to like be tagged down or hit or what, right? You can just go, like if I catch a ball and I go straight to the ground, you've given yourself up. So it doesn't matter if a guy touches you. You can stand up, hand the ball to the official like right away, okay? So we would say alert down so that they know that the second that you catch the ball, don't fight for 5 yards, 10 yards, 15, try and score, get to the ground so that we can get up, spike it, and then kick the field goal, whatever happens. Now you're telling your lineman, hey, listen, on alert down, you guys know if you're on the ground, you're blocked and you get knocked to the ground, or if whatever's going on, you've got to be sprinting to the line of scrimmage because we have no time to do anything except get up there, get set, spike the ball. Receivers, you've got to get back. And we're going deep, so you've got to really hustle back. And everybody knows on alert down, alert spike that everyone just gets to a spot. You don't have to be lined up. You just have to be off the ball. Inside guys are on the ball. Outside guys are off the ball. So the worst thing that can happen is a penalty, right? I mean, so as a quarterback, you're going as fast as you possibly can while knowing I got to make, okay, everyone's set, everyone's good to spike. Because if you go too early, you get the run off, this, that, and the other. The coolest thing in watching the all-22, that ball got on Pat quick. Again, I know where Pat's heart is on that. He's probably going to get tackled pretty quick because the linebacker's on him, safety's coming down. I'm guessing he's going to get tackled about the 45-yard line. I don't think he's going to get much more than that, okay? Now you've got to get a guy off of him because the defense is now, they know what's going on. They're going to lay on him a little longer, When the play kind of ended, or once the ball kind of hit the ground, there was about 12 seconds. So if you count on him catching it, taking a second or two to get tackled, it's going to be about 10 seconds. And watching the all-22, the linemen they were on the release. You can see them sprinting. They did their job. You can see the guys getting ready to turn and come back. I think in terms of operation, you couldn't be happier with what happened with everybody. So you give kudos for that. And obviously if he catches on the 45, add the 7 to 8 yards with the snap, you're talking 62, 63 yards. Now you've got an all-pro in Boz, who obviously is a Pro Bowler. Congratulations, Boz. I think he should be the all-pro kicker. I'm just going to put that out there now, but you give him a chance. You have to. Or you give a shot for Hail Mary, if you're not in that zone. But the question is always going to come down to, was there enough time to do all that? In terms of watching the operation, I think everyone did their job exceptionally well.
So you're saying, based on watching the film, had that gone the way we wanted, we had plenty of time?
I can't say plenty. I think there's likely a chance we could have spiked it and had a second or two to decide then what you want. Now, there's still so many variables from there.
Sure.
But I think there's a chance. I can't say yes or no, but I think there's a chance that we could have spiked it with a couple seconds left.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I think. Yeah. But more important on the whole thing, it's not about Pat catching or not catching it, this, that, and the other. It's about the operation of what was about to happen. Was good to watch the young linemen, everybody looking like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think. You probably, as a coach, watching that back and looking at that as a positive to take away from a loss like that. It's like, boys,
there's not a lot of positives to take away from those games,
right?
But that's one that you could probably look at, like, okay, I know this situation happens this week in Baltimore. We're ready.
Right. I would imagine, especially going into the postseason, knowing that what is it? The routine plays routinely, like everybody, that kind of stuff. To know, like, again, what is it? Moral victories? What are you talking about? There's no moral victories.
Yeah.
But knowing that a young line like that is doing those kind of things is probably easing your mind a little bit. Granted, you'd love to have the win, but going into I want to talk more about like the mindset here as we get ready to jump into family dinner. The mindset of coming off a 4-game skid, going to the playoffs. We touched on it a little bit earlier in the show. Like, it's more. I feel like the mentals, man. How do you fight the mentals, knowing like, okay, we have a shot to get to the show. Mm-hmm. Yes, the slate is clean. Yes, it's 0-0 to everybody. Yes, you just have to beat the guy in front of you. But man, you are going into this game with all of the mental, just, all right, gear up, loss. How do you overcome that? Going into the postseason, what's the mindset in the locker room?
Yeah. I think the mindset is going to, not in there right now, but what I would imagine the mindset is it doesn't matter what we've done, which I know you just, we literally are going into this with a 0-win, 0-loss record, just like everyone else. And the other little mindset that makes I'm guessing the locker room that they've talked about and will be thought about will be, we're playing an opponent that we know, that up until one game this year, the last time we played them, we've had their number. That's got to bring a little bit of confidence to the building, to the room, and down there at the south side. So that's the mentality that I would say that you're going with. Hey, listen, we know them. Yeah, they know us, but we're going to play a team that we've won at their place. We've had their number. Like, this, that, and the other. I think that's going to be where the mindset has to be, because that's the easiest way to say, okay, forget about the 4. You're not going there and be like, guys, listen, I know we've lost 4 in a row, but it's like, listen, guys, we're about to play a divisional. We know them. They know us. Let's go kick their butt.
Yeah.
So you have to think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I'm nervous because you said on this show you don't want to go to Baltimore.
I wouldn't want to. I mean, I understand the complexities of playing a team Mm-hmm. I also understand the complexities of playing a team that's really hot right now and has probably the league MVP. Probably.
Yeah, Lamar's a freak of nature.
I mean,
but think about, if we're talking about mentals, man. You go in there and do what we expect to do to Baltimore. Mm-hmm. You might have taken out the potential Super Bowl champion.
Potentially, yes.
I mean, that's got to gas you up enough to.
Listen, if you were to ask me in the AFC, who are the favorites to win it all? I'll put the Ravens. I'd probably go Ravens, Bills, Chiefs.
You don't think Chiefs are 3-peat? You think a 3-peat's more unlikely than?
I think they have a chance.
Well, yeah, it's
to 3-peat for sure. They're really good, but I'm just saying I think the other two teams are playing really, really good football. The Chiefs are finding ways to win, which there's something to be said about that too.
Right.
But yeah, so if you knock the Ravens off, you knocked off the top dog. Even though they're not the 1 seed, you knocked off the top dog. What they did to Houston in Houston the other day.
Oh, dude, that was embarrassing. What would you do if you were on Houston at halftime? Beyonce comes out and you're like, hey, boys, let's just.
You also want to watch the show and not go back out?
Like, you guys want to order some ribs and just call it a night.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I feel like John Harbaugh's playing like Madden, like with his team. Like, just like, it's 4th down. Let's do a little trick play. Let's do this. Like, if it doesn't work, we're going to win. Like,
well, dude, when you have those players, man, it is Madden.
It is. It's easy to do things
It seems unfair, man. Even their receiving corps is coming alive. Their defense, like you said, is...
Not having Zay Flowers is going to be a big deal. If he doesn't ends up not playing.
Is he out?
Supposedly he's going to be out. That's a big deal. But when I watched the Baltimore game and I watch on fourth down, they go for it like on the 5-yard line, and Lamar does a little like jump pass and misses Derrick Henry, and they just start like laughing. Like it's like, oh well.
We tried.
Like
that's Madden. That's Madden, bro. That's real life Madden.
It's crazy.
That is wild, dude.
Yeah. So that game was like I said, I don't want to dwell on the Cincinnati game, but
yeah. I mean, you could sit down there and break it down, but you're saying the same thing over and no need to beat a dead horse, man. Like, I think it being the last game of the year is nice in that you can wash it, right? It's not like, hey, next week. It's like, nah, man. All right, we're already in. I mean, it's tough to watch the division slip away like in that fashion. But again, it's just all that, like Russ said, man. As you can take it however you want. A vet knows how to like wash that. What is it? Goldfish. Be a goldfish. Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 10-second memory, man.
That sometimes you got to have that.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it. What do you think about all these Saturday games, though, man?
Well,
am I the only one frustrated about that?
A little bit. I'm more frustrated and nervous. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, which is another crazy thing.
Which
it's a playoff game.
What's going to happen if we don't have good service or
that's
whatever?
Right. Oh, that's right.
I mean, anything, anywhere. You got a snowstorm. Mm-hmm. You might not.
Which I drove through this morning over here.
We might not watch this. So I don't know. I get what. So come on, Amazon, let's go. Get this thing. Come on, get this thing right. Let's do this.
Yeah, the Amazon ones haven't been bad. I feel like the Netflix one.
Okay,
was it bad? I watched. Netflix
I just don't trust
streaming services.
People that it hasn't been their thing.
Yeah. Well, hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
I know. The Saturday.
The flex game, like I feel like this is the first. I know they flexed it before.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I think, right?
It's crazy, man.
I don't. Yeah.
What do you think that does to the players? Not much. It's just like, hey, let's ride.
Just go. Yeah, it's nice because you're only like 2 games on, so everyone's watching. It's postseason. Everyone's watching everybody anyway.
Yeah.
So you get a chance to show out. But I don't know. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. We're gonna go into Baltimore. I think. If I had to guess, I think it's either going to be a close game or it's going to be a blowout. I know that's like, people are like, well, yeah, what else could there be? But I think it's either going to be like a really close game or they're going to blow us out, unfortunately.
Blowout, not in our
favor. Yeah. Because I just think like Lamar has a chance to go be a 3-time MVP.
Yeah.
He might already be it, but he's missing a Super Bowl. That's all it's like he really needs.
Yeah. My one like hope is when I what's up, Eb? Is when I look at the last time we played him. Yeah, we lost, but I don't think anybody in the league contains Lamar Jackson the way that the Steelers do.
I agree.
What's up, Eb? Oh shoot!
Oh my goodness, we have like a full lunch here. I'm glad
What's up with?
Glad I'm hungry. Everyone always makes fun of me, by the way, when I eat on this show.
Why?
Like Ben houses food.
Yeah.
Like of course. What else are you always supposed to do?
Have they seen you?
Yeah.
You're a big man.
Yeah.
You gotta eat.
Well, not only that, y'all have never had Chef Evans food.
I'm the round one. You're the tall one.
It's like twins.
That's why we work.
It's like
This goes
twins.
so well together.
We have a remake of Twins. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at.
I'm getting a little
You can't make it around.
Yeah.
Make it land. Thank you,
easy
sir.
on the zebra cake.
Zebra cakes.
Little Debbie, not so little.
Take your
Jeez.
Hello.
Evan, how are you?
Doing well, and you?
Good to see you. There you go.
Good to see you.
That's your silver.
Oh,
that's your silver.
Okay.
We're
good. Hey, this is our first time doing this, guys.
All right, start with this, Evan, please.
Okay.
Because after this, we're gonna dive in.
Yes. Okay, so there's a stuffed burger right there that is stuffed with cheddar cheese and some Monterey Jack, and then beer cheese on top on a ciabatta bun. The one on the far right has bacon on it. That one's for you. No bacon for
Thank you.
for Spencer.
Wow.
So got some honey jalapeno shrimp and grits.
Oh, I love shrimp and grits.
And then I made some wings, but they have.
Are they Raven wings?
No. Yes. Yes.
No.
They're root beer,
Oh,
spicy root beer barbecue. And I like marinated in the wings overnight in some root beer.
Nice.
never.
So it's a little bit of sweet.
What kind of root beer? A&W?
Yeah.
You need an A&W guy?
Barks?
A&W.
Heads Bite?
A&W was what was available. So
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Oh, shrimp grits. Did you watch the game?
Yes.
And
Uh,
are you like Russ? Or are we moved on? Like you're like, you know what? It's over. Who cares? Let's go to the game.
I don't know if I can trust much that Russell Wilson says after we don't get out of bounds and we're just like, incredible hulking through guys. So he held on to the ball though. So positive steps, right? I guess. I don't know. I hate to be a downer, but there's not much to look up to.
Right now.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that. Like the end of that game, like there's a time to be tough and a time to get out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like maybe he was trying to be like Steeler tough and run someone over.
Yeah. Well, again, that's not the time.
Okay.
Just like
Not the time nor the place, Russell.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I was so over the game by that point in time that I was just kind of sitting there like, all you can do is like laugh. There was no yelling, the whole game. I was very melancholy. Just
Put the pretzels away.
yeah. I mean, no, I made the pretzels with dinner, so it was like
There you go.
I had them ready to go, and just I got to find a new thing, I guess. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe our good friends over at Giant Eagle can help us with that.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
John Eagle.
We need a new game time snack.
What's something new for Evan? What's a new snack that you can think of?
Yes.
All right. I have one question. That's all. Well, I kind of asked a question, but my next question is, and if you don't want to answer this because you care too much about him, you don't have to answer this.
Okay.
What were your thoughts? And then I would like to ask you your thoughts on his explanation to the play. What were your thoughts when Coach Tomlin went for him 4th down at the end of the half, backed up? Did you like the call?
At this point in time, I'm kind of drawing a blank. Can we get a little more like what was?
Oh,
little context.
so at the end of the half, we had the ball in like the 35, 40-yard line with 45 a minute left. 3rd down, Russ sneaks it, doesn't get it.
Oh,
4th down, he gives to Jalen Warren. Jalen doesn't get it either. They get the ball right there, getting ready to go score.
is that the one where they went to Fryermuth twice, and Fryermuth wasn't able to get it
Maybe.
because he went out of bounds, and then the second time.
No,
Yeah.
Short the second time.
Yeah.
Tomlin's explanation was, I didn't want to give him the ball back with 2 timeouts, so I want to go for it on the 4th. But you gave him the ball right there.
Exactly.
I don't like it at all.
No, you could have pinned them a little more in their own end instead of giving them, a discounted field, if you will.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Obviously, it wasn't as big a deal to you as it was to me.
yeah, like I said, everything was just kind of a blur at that point.
The whole game was a blur to you.
Just blocking it out.
I wasn't up. I wasn't down. I was like in the middle with,
You're just excited for Baltimore.
I mean, I don't know if I'm excited. I mean,
No, you did this to us, Evan.
You're right. I
You
did,
did
but
this.
no Zay Flowers either.
So I found that out on the show.
So that's pretty.
Here you go. Yeah, turn
That'll
the
be
boat.
good for us. Be able to concentrate more on the run, and you still have to watch the pass. But
His tight ends. I mean, yeah, Zay's phenomenal, but what he's doing with his tight ends, I feel like it won't matter.
it's likely that he'll be using his tight ends.
yes.
You see what I did there?
How do you eat
Likely,
I like it.
Isaiah.
like a
Likely.
Did you write that down?
I did not.
No.
It
You
was
thought it
not.
on your own?
I did just now too.
Wow, on the fly.
You're
Oh,
an improv guy.
goodness.
Good looking. He can cook, and he's funny.
Handsome, funny,
I tell you what,
ladies and
I've
gentlemen.
got some stuff in the book today.
Yeah,
too.
who's
yeah,
your
please
agent?
tell-
We got to get
How do
people
we
are
eat
gonna.
this?
First of all, it's a 9.5 point spread. I heard.
Is it?
Yes.
wow.
So that's
That's high.
that's ridiculous. We covered Russ. We
We did.
didn't
Yes.
cover George Pickens.
Oh, would you? Yes, I didn't know if you would want to go there.
He had a case of the dropsies. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, dropsies happen.
So it
What
was.
about arguing with the fans?
See,
that?
I never see these the
Pat had
little
to hold him.
spats
Pat
he
had
gets
to hold
into.
him back a little bit.
Really? Well,
Arguing with our fans?
hey, when you're embarrassed, you'll do anything. I guess it gets to the point where if you're not doing your job, you got to find somebody else to point out and
Look at that. Hold on.
deflecting.
Jeez.
Embarrassed.
So-
I eat this. But go ahead, keep going.
I don't know.
Take the camera off me.
I think he's got a lot to make up for this game, so we might see some amazing George Pickens plays.
So you're saying
Yeah.
take George Pickens in like a betting type thing.
No, I'm not. I don't bet. Nope.
It starts with the spread. I don't bet. Yeah.
I'm letting everyone else know.
Yeah.
That's what they're interested in. I definitely think this is a Black Air Force Ones game
It's got to be.
for Tomlin.
It's got to be.
Glasses or no glasses?
No glasses.
Okay.
Straight. He's strictly business.
Strictly business.
That's it. He's got the knit cap on.
Yep.
Down to the eyebrows and just that.
Yeah, you go.
Wow.
Oh, hold on. Hold that. There you go. Look at that.
Nice.
That's
Thank
a
you.
good. That's a good Tomlin.
That was practiced. No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, we know it was.
That's
No,
it
we
though.
know.
That's
Yeah.
all I got in my book.
That's good, man.
It should be a good game. I mean, as Mike Tomlin would say, we're both very familiar with each other. So, there's not much you can deviate from your plan. You have to go head on into it and just hope for the best.
Well, what we were saying, if we take off the Ravens, I mean, that's a win in your sales, man. I mean, you take them off.
Yeah, I mean, if TJ Watt is on, last game he was kind of hampered by an injury, and we didn't have George Pickens, and we'll be getting. Is it the
Talking about the last time we played them.
Yes, correct. The Ravens last time, and we'll be getting Jackson back, won't we? I think
I'm not sure.
Deontay?
in the secondary. Yeah.
Deontay Jackson,
Yep.
Dante Jackson.
Dante Jackson.
Yeah.
Is it Dante or Deontay?
Deontay Johnson. We got
Dante Jackson. I apologize.
Yeah.
But so things are looking up, and again, playing this team 2 times already and playing them for a 3rd time, that leaves a lot of room for mistakes for the Steelers. But I'm looking for the mistakes from Harbaugh because he's always out kicking his coverage on plays and trying to go the extra mile where he could just stay neck and neck with them in the game. He's always trying to go up one. And, maybe it won't happen. It didn't happen last game. So
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that are in our favor and a lot of things that are not in our favor. So
You heard it here first.
You heard it
stay
here.
tuned. Saturday night.
See y'all next week. See
Doing
how
a
it
promo.
feels.
All right.
You want to cut a promo against
No,
the Ravens?
thanks, nah.
No, go ahead.
No,
Do like a cut a WWE promo against the Ravens.
I got this food from
Harbaugh!
Giant Eagle.
Giant Eagle. Yes, the football and family dinner and Chef Evan's Thoughts, which is a new segment that
Enjoy.
just happened, is brought to you by good friends over at Giant Eagle.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Evan.
Thanks, Ev. There you go.
No more zebra cakes. Starting tomorrow.
I'm gonna Velcro the mic, the mic stand to the floor from now on.
Bam.
Brings up some good points. Evan knows.
Evan knows his stuff.
Evan knows. Yeah, well, let us know what you guys think. Saturday goes down. Let us know if you feel good about this. I've read some stuff online already. It's kind of gloom. It's kind of gloom, but I have faith, man.
okay.
I have faith.
A good game.
I've seen what we can do to the Ravens. So
Yep.
that being said, you watched the. Jeez, look at this burger.
Yeah, it's not easy to get a hold of.
You watch. You know what this looks like? You remember Good Burger?
Unbelievable burger.
Good Burger, what home to Good Burger? So in that movie, the bad guys were a restaurant called Mondo Burger.
Okay.
That's what this looks like. This looks like Mondo Burger.
I can't believe you're just gonna go.
No, I'm not. I'm just showing it to the people. I mean,
you're about to try and take a bite of it.
Oh, I'm definitely going to do that, but
okay.
just not on camera. So I look like an idiot. But you watched the game with Merrill
Yes.
in Texas.
And Levi.
And
Morgan.
Levi, yep. And his brother Micah, good friends of the show. Yeah, man. So you were out in Texas for a couple of days doing some hunting. I figured at football and family dinner, you could share that with the football and family.
Yeah, just quick little as
Yeah,
we wrap
as
this
we wrap
thing
it
up.
up.
Yeah, we were out in Texas at Cactus Jack again. Thanks to all the people out there, Jake and Mr. Jerry and Mr. Tim, all the guys out there, the guides, the owners, Miss Robin, Miss Beth, people that cooked for us. It was just such an amazing time being out there with Micah and Levi and Merrill, and just what a fun hunt. We had all of us had a nice successful hunt, but it's just that's such an amazing place. Shot some really cool deer and saw a lot of really cool things. So just big shout outs to everybody out there. Just a great time to be with some great people, have some great conversations about faith and family, and just when you're around good people for a few days, it really recharges your battery. And that's what we did. We laughed a lot. Marilyn, myself, and Levi and Micah, we laughed a lot, and that's what it's about. So just had a great time. So thanks everybody out there, and I know we wanted to keep this show wrapped up. So that's all I got.
Cool. Hey, well, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you are not already, go ahead and follow at Football with Ben on Instagram, and we'll see you next week, hopefully with a win.
Yes, after the playoffs, I'm gonna shoot a text to Ramon Foster, see if I can get him here next week to talk about the season, talk about the game, and maybe hopefully preview our next playoff game.
That's right.
So we'll see. So Moan, if you're watching this, I'm going to shoot you a text, even though you'll get my text before you see this, but still. Thanks, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.